All right, everybody, welcome back to the Disrespected Fathers podcast. I'm hoping everybody had a happy holiday. I'm one of those guys. I never really celebrate Christmas like that anyway, and I normally I just do it for the kids and um, be a part of it. You know what I mean? Uh, Again, happy holidays to everybody. But if you haven't hit that like, share, and subscribe button yet, let's go ahead and do that and hit the notification so you'll know when we drop something else. Um, Bit of sad story, not bit, but a very, very upsetting story. Me being a father of daughters. This young lady, Jalea Toon is her name. Uh, on her way home from the store getting something to eat, and two losers, or three losers, excuse me, jump out of the woods and started opening fire on them. Her and her friends and her sister. I'm not sure if the sister was there. I'm not sure what happened, but her sister was there when she took her last breath. And as a father listening to that, as a father of little girls listening to that, I just couldn't imagine and don't want to ever imagine that, and I'm a father and plus I'm a mentor. So this hurts. Listening to this hurts. She's only 13. Um, we're going to listen to some of the audio of some of the people that decided to do a video on this. We'll check out my man Willie D right quick, and we'll be back. I'm still trying to learn how to add the videos to my stage so we can start doing it that way and stop doing it the hard way. Let's go.
Imagine you're a kid in your neighborhood. You decide to walk with your friends to go get something to eat. When on the way back home, some dudes jump out of the bushes, kids, and just open fire on you and your friends. It happened, fam. Check out the video, leave your comments, and I'll come back with mine.
Lauren, the family of the victim identifying her as 13-year-old Jalea Toon. Her tragic death comes just days before Christmas. Her family telling me there are gifts under the tree that she'll never get to open.
She was my miracle baby. She was premature. She was born 3 months early. She was 2 pounds, 5 ounces. And she came home 2012, right before Christmas. And then she died right before Christmas.
Planning her daughter's funeral was not how Whitney Brown Toon expected to spend the week of Christmas. Overwhelmed with grief, the mother of 4 spoke with me about her 13-year-old daughter, Jalea.
She's a helper. She's friendly, smart, bubbly. Just has personality that, it's going to be hard. You're not going to get that.
Goldsboro police arresting 3 teenage boys in connection to Jalea's death. They say the 13-year-old was killed just after 4:30 Sunday afternoon in the 200 block of Alpha Court.
Before we let her sister speak, I'm looking at this baby's picture, and once again, she reminds me of my daughter when she was her age. She's actually a little bit older than my youngest daughter, and looking at her and listening to what her mother said, her being a miracle baby, 2 pounds, 5 ounces, and wasn't even supposed to be here in the first place. But she was a fighter. And I can tell by her smile, she was energetic, and I believe everything her mother said about this baby. I can look at her daughter, her oldest daughter, and believe everything that they said about this little girl. Very helpful, very, very sweet, very smart. I can look at kids and tell from being a mentor that that's who she was. That's who Miss Jalea was. Let's listen to a little bit more and we'll come back for more commentary.
In her last moments.
Jalea's 14-year-old sister, Jashia, held her as she took her final breath. She told me they walked with friends to get something to eat. On the way home, she says a group of boys that she didn't know jumped out the bushes and started shooting. She frantically turned around, looking for her sister, and that's when she saw Jalea had been shot.
She looked so scared. Like, I was scared myself because I hate to have to see her like that. And it was like all on my hands. I didn't want to wipe it off because it was like I still felt her presence. But I still felt that she was with me.
Loved ones affectionately called Jalea Lily, telling me she was your average 7th grader who had a big personality. Jashia today wearing her sister's favorite hoodie because she says it's the closest they'll ever be to one another.
This is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking on so many levels. Normally, I'm super passionate about this type of thing, and I will be on these videos in the future. I will be very passionate, but listening to her big sister go through what she had to go through, watching her baby sister slip away from her. That's next level traumatizing. This is something she won't ever get over. Watching little Lily slip away because of 3 stupid, I can't curse, but 3 stupid mofos that don't understand that what you've done now is taking somebody else's child's life. You've taken somebody else's child's life. And in the process, you've taken your own. You've taken your own. I want to weigh in on this really quick before I continue with more audio. My brother used to live in North Carolina. He was in Goldsboro, actually, and I went up there to visit. I don't understand how you find trouble to get into there because there's literally nothing to do there. And that's probably the problem. There's nothing to do there. If it wasn't for that base, they would have nothing to do. Point being, there is something else for these kids to be doing. I don't call them kids anymore. They're grown men. Let's look at the comments right quick. See what the comments are saying. Hey, Pistolas, young girl was killed by 3 losers in life. And I have to go in on them because they've taken a baby. They've taken a baby from us. I don't get this. When I was growing up, we were afraid of guns. We were afraid of trouble. I was more afraid of my parents. I was more afraid of my foster parents. I was more afraid of my mom than any gun. But us having a gun or something like that, that's taboo. We don't talk about that. That was rare. That was 1 in about 3 billion back then. We didn't play like that. These children are not being raised correctly. They're being raised by people that do not need children. They're being raised by people that don't know how to raise people. Y'all see kids as pets. Somebody you just got to feed a couple of times and water and walk them to the toilet. Let's listen a little bit further.
I deserve this at all. Like, people are very cruel. Because now I have to live on without my sister.
And Goldsboro police said the 16-year-old suspects make their first court appearance today. The 15-year-old suspect will make his tomorrow. And of course, police say this remains an active investigation.
Before I get into my commentary, condolences to the family, condolences to her friend.
Condolences to the family. That means nothing to me at this point. And the father, as a father, you hear, even if your daughter's sick and has a cold, we are next level about our daughters. And to find out some losers that went and unalived my daughter, hit this man's daughter. What do you think should happen to these kids? What do you think should happen to these two 16-year-olds and this 15-year-old? Waving them up to adult. That's nothing now. Waving them up to be an adult, that's nothing. Because they'll get in there and think this is a game. They ain't realize that there are consequences behind this. People are killing young people like it's a sport, like there is no consequences behind this. And it's part mental, but it's also part environment and atmosphere and how these children are being raised. Anybody got any comments? Go ahead and leave them in the comments and I'll answer back. And if you want to come up, you're welcome to come up on stage. Okay. Again, like I said, shout out to Willie D for that commentary and his reaction to this. Understand why have these kids in this generation do not know how to raise kids. You don't know how to raise children. Why have them? And then there's half of you are being brought up on charges for child neglect. Why don't you let these children go to a place? Why don't you let these children go to a family that's going to take care of them? Your grandmother, a grandmother or somebody like that, an aunt or somebody that's going to raise these kids properly. Because obviously y'all don't know how to chastise kids. Y'all don't know how to chastise kids. This is stupid. Question: do I feel sorry for the kid? No, I don't. No, I not for the kids that took this baby's life. Not for the kids that took this baby's life. No, I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for them because if they needed, if they were that bored or trying to play hard, there's the military. You could join the military. You have a military base there. You have an Air Force base there. That's not an excuse. Question: where are their parents? Good question. Good question. Good question. I don't get it. I'm willing to have this open dialogue with kids and why they act the way they act. Let's see. Damned Reaper. Let me see what you're saying, brother. If you do not raise your children while they're young, the right way, you're gonna have problems when they're older, and that's what's wrong with today's society. Absolutely, absolutely. But here's the thing, Damn Reaper, and I thank you for that. I thank you for that. Here's the Reaper. Here's the difference, and the problem with that is the problem with that is these people that are raising these kids don't know how to raise kids. They don't know how to raise kids. You see the lack of respect in kids these days. They don't respect their parents these days. The disrespect I see from kids today, haven't seen that in my entire 51 years of life. I haven't seen that in years. I haven't seen that the whole time I've been watching this new generation of children versus, and which is in about a 10-15 year span. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this because I was raised in foster care, and I was raised by old people that knew how to raise kids. Fear anything. They don't fear consequences. They don't fear consequences. And why should we, the civilized society, feel bad for these people? Why should the civilized society feel bad for these people? Now this baby's gone. She didn't even, it was right before Christmas. She didn't even get a chance to open her gifts. They said her gifts are still under the tree. Her gifts are still under the tree. Damn Reaper, I'm gonna post that up there. That's an excellent question, and you're welcome to dialogue with me anytime you get ready, brother. This is disgusting, man. This baby's gone for absolutely nothing. Let me know what you guys think. I'll probably jump on and do another video right quick. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Disrespected Fathers Podcast, and we will be back.